Hi crew, how are you? Type A here, and in this tutorial I think it's going to be a good idea if we create some synth sounds for synthwave, retrowave, whatever you want to call it. The other day I posted in the forums and in my channel a track that I was working on the track, and some of the producers in the forum, they told me that it was a good selection of sounds, but I use Serum and Reactor to get that sound. But it doesn't mean that you can get it this type of sound using only single cycle waveforms in the Renoise sampler. But to simplify the process in creating the sounds, I'm going to load Serum and I'm going to render the initial saw waveform. That's because I want to have the single cycle waveform, but in a spread across the entire keyboard, so when we add our effects in Renoise, it will be like a really nice quality and not a normal single cycle waveform repeated across the entire keyboard. So let's render out this. Right now it sounds like this. Let's put it in this track. Simple saw waveform in Serum. So go here to render to samples, and you can do this with Scene 1 or something like that if you don't have Serum. But I'm going to share this instrument, and I'm going to change the Renoise project file so you can grab the specific instrument. And let's put the step to 3. Let's set this to 24. Set auto loop samples, and set this to 24 bits, and let's render this out. So if we leave this here like it's going to remove the source plugin after rendering, let's uncheck this for now and render the instrument to instrument number 4 and start. Yeah, it says going to render out 13 stereo samples. It's going to take 9.4 megabytes of space, so yes, and it's going to render the initial waveform in Serum so we can process it in the Renoise sampler as a multi-sample instrument. This is going to be good because if we process like this sound and we have like 7 or 10 instances of Serum in the project, the CPU load is going to increase a lot. But if we keep things all in the like sample-based instruments and you render out different parts of the sound, your CPU is going to be fine. So let's see what we got here. It's sounding pretty good, so let's start working with this stuff. Let's see how it goes with the... Yeah, it always happens. Let's start making one of these plucky type sounds but first let's copy this instrument, let's keep it here clear, paste it here again, and let's start working with this instrument. So let's rename this pluck synth. So first we're going to do is go here, select all of our samples and route them to the first modulation tab here and look for an envelope. And if we were going to create a pluck sound, a pluck shape, something like this. And let's write something here. So for synthwave, retrowave, like slow tempos or mid slow tempos are like kind of like the thing. So I'm going to put this on 107 BPM, and with one line, let's something like this, and let's simply go here, copy this, go here again. Now I want to replace the root node 8 with an F, so let's select this and this. No, let's type it with our keyboard. So goes like this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a bad idea. So let's write this stuff again. Now it's something like this. Okay, we have like this crazy arpeggio. Now we can fine tune our envelope to our liking. I think this is pretty cool. Yeah, I like it the way it is right now. So let's go here, and I like to create a second one, effects chain, put it on top, and rename this to modulation. So now I'm going to start inserting meta devices and instant, like Sigma followers, hydra, stuff like that. And I like to keep things organized in my chain. So this is the first effects one. All of my sounds are routed here. You guys can see effects number 2. So this is number 2 chain. And first I want to load a signal follower here and hydra, keep it here, and I want to add a trigger signal to use it as a trigger for different devices. So I'm going here to this first instrument, I'm going to copy the sample, I'm going here to our plug, create a new sample, empty sample, and paste it. Now it sounds like it's clashing with, because it's running through the same modulation assignment here. So let's create another one, rename this to trigger, assign it, and use an envelope. Now we can see it's almost peaking in the top, but let's increase our gain so it sweeps the entire range of value. And let's mute this channel, so we only hear, but we have the signal to mess around. And let's route this to the hydra, so we want to control the hydra. Right now we are on the modulation tab here, modulation effects change, and hydra input. So we can use the hydra as a meta device that groups different controllers, like I don't know, like the first analogy would be like have this macro functionality inside a meta device, and when you move this knob it's going to move all of this, but you guys already know this stuff. So I want to first load a filter, and I want to assign the filter cutoff to the hydra. So go here to effects 1, analog filter, filter cutoff. Now we have this more analog because of the filter swap in our plug. So let's change this to move, increase the resonance. And we kind of like start getting this really cool old school analog type of synthesizer sound. Let's decrease the tempo like 103. Let's play with this. The inertia is like a value. If you have it on 100, all the changes that you made to the cutoff and the resonance is going to happen like a click. But if you decrease it, it's going to affect the way each time you move these controls, the speed with the filter reacts to the movement. Let's speed it with a bit of drive. Now I want to have like reverb and delay going on with this instrument, but I want to, like, I always use a separate effects chain for the reverb, so I'm going to send the signal of this channel to the second channel, but I'm going to get only pure reverb. So let's add another chain, rename it effects wet, so I only get like the pure reverb. I'm going to use the MP reverb, set this to wet mix to maximum, and decrease the dry mix, and look for a send device. And this send device here, place it after the filter, set it to keep source, and just mess with the amount. So because we are sending all right now, like this configuration, it's going to send all of the signal, but we only want a bit, so it's going to be our dry wet, if you want to call it this knob. Now I want to mess around a bit with the pure reverb signal just to experiment. Let's load a delay, and if you hear, you see that, like for instance, this configuration is pretty basic for delays, but it's only going to mess with the reverb signal. But if we set this the time of the individual controllers like 3 milliseconds and 4 milliseconds, and if I increase the amount of signal that is being sent to the wet channel, you're going to listen this kind of metallic reverb, almost like a convolver type reverb. Now let's add another effects chain to group all of the sounds, like here. Rename effects all one, and look for another send device. Put a one here, set this to mute, and send the signal to effects all one with the amount at maximum. And let's copy this and hold control, drag it to the other chain to effects all. You can tell that it's been all the signals of these two effects chains are sending to this, because we have this blue showed up here, and the other one is like green. It's like the true signal. So let's load another filter and mess around with the filter again. Let's again control the filter with the hydra, the cutoff. Let's change this filter to for a low pass filter move. And I want to add another delay, this time with a basic configuration, 3 to 4. And I want to mess with with the pitch of the third sound. I want to repitch it. And let's move this. Four to 6. And let's add some distortion to the stuff. Let's look for a distortion here, just to get up just saturation in our signal. And let's add a chorus here. Let's add another distortion because I really like how distortion messes around with the sound. Now we have a pretty cool like synth type of Let's go back to our envelope to see if we can cut up a bit of this sustain. Now I like the way it is, so we have now our type of block synth type of sound. Now let's create a, for instance, a pad to go along in the back. So let me close the external editor. We have this first sound. Now let's copy again our initial sawtooth waveform. And the reason I'm using only the sawtooth waveform is because I think that these old school guys, like in the 80s, the hardware equipment that they used to make this type of music was pretty simple. I mean, the sound was not simple, but because it has like the special circuits and filters and stuff like that, but I think they only have access to like a restrained amount of type of waveforms, and I think a lot of the sounds were made with sawtooth, square or triangle type waveforms. So let's copy this instrument again, go here, paste it, send to, for instance, pad 1, and rename track 3 to plug synth. And let's create a pad sound. Now we are on track number in pad 1. We have our initial waveform again. Let's mess around with an envelope. So again, select all of our samples, route it to a demodulation set number 1. This time look for a attack, hold, decay, sustain and release envelope because it has like a more proportional controls, if you want to call it like this. Repitch this to 12. and mess around with the shape, trying to create a so let's write our chords here. A, yeah, because of this loop we're getting like the beating, but don't worry about that. Let's filter that out. I mean, let's auto filter. So go here again. This time we're not going to make a modulation tab or anything like that. We're going to automate the controls. We want to automate using the macro functionality. So let's go here to put the analog filter again, set it to and let's assign this to macro 1. So when the macro is in 0, the value is going to, so we get sound, and when it's on maximum, it's going to be like here. Like filter. First, let's assign also the resonance here. So when it's here, when it's in here, it's going to be like 30%, I guess. And let's do the same. Let's add another effect change. Remember to wet 1. Look for synth device. Look for an MP reverb. But first, let's add a delay here before sending the signal to the chain. Let's put it to 4 to 6. Now let's draw an automation for this controller. Go here to mix, look for the instrument macros, and let's simply draw something. Select this, click copy, paste it. We kind of have our pad sound pretty simple, but I want a bit of saturation again, so let's all effects, and let's use another send channel to send our entire signal to this new effects chain. So copy this, drag it here. Let's look for a exciter. Queuing. Now let's look for a compressor. Now there's one trick that I like to use is to pan really fast the sound from one channel to the other using the gainer device. and an LFO. So route the LFO to all effects, gainer, panning. You're instantly going to see the panning control here in the gainer device moving. So resonate just to panner, just to keep that in check. And let's mess around with the speed. Let's add a chorus here, some point here in the chain before the compressor. Let's add a distortion here. Kind of like old school type pad here. Let's add an old filter. And let us add another reverb. Let me try this standard reverb for this sound. We want to route this as well, instruments, and I want to multi-band compress this just to see what happens. So let's look for reactor effects, and let me load the flat blaster. So go here to effects, flat blaster. Let me reduce the gain here because this is going to really compress this for presets. Now let's create a bass sound, which is another typical type of sound in the retrowave. So let's rename this to pad 1. Again, let's copy our initial sawtooth waveform in Serum, copy here, paste it, assign them to another track. Group it, let's rename this bass, and let's go here with a 2, with a 1 blend. And F. That sounds pretty horrible, but again, route our samples to the first modulation set. Let's mess around with the envelope. Let's solo this for now. Let's crown this stuff with distortion. I want to cut a bit of the low end because I'm going to use a sub as always. Now let me load a chorus here. I think this is going to be now let's compress our bass sound. Same compression. A bit of delay here to this bass sound as well. So let's go here, add a sine wave as our sub reinforcement, go here to the Renoise samplers, let's look for basics, sine it to here, select this stuff, copy. Shit. I think it's easy if I paste it here. Yeah, silly me. Select this and change the instrument from 0B to 0C. Swap the motherfucker. Now we have our sine sounding, but it's super low. Go here to our instrument, copy our envelope, here, paste it. Go here again. Now we have this kind of like loop going on, type, kind of like the sound, not as quiet as I would love to, but now let's add a gainer device here. Let's Oh, fuck, this is so slow. I don't know why. I think it's for the internet connection. Here, another one. Because I already have the setup that I use for side chaining, let's go to the hydra and the trigger clip and route. Oh shit, so slow. In the instruments, select gainer, select gain from 0 to compress like minus 25 dB, and in the other one is the bass rack, gainer, gain from 0 to minus 40. And if I go to the trigger clip, go here and write each 4 line. Now we just need some drums, and the retrowave genre uses drum machine sounds from the 80s, so I have in my reactor a awesome ensemble by Boscomac called let me look for it, I don't recall the name. Files, Boscomac Retrobeat MK2, and this thing is a marvel. It's a collection of all drum machine sounds. We have the Roland TRIOA, the 606, we have the Boss GR55, a lot of drum machines, and we have the Lindrum. So let's route this stuff to a different track. Yeah, track 2 is available. '80 sound. And let's write a simple pattern for this stuff. '80 sound, guys. So 8s or snare. Oh, sorry. Let me turn this off. It's basically it's running a pattern, but I don't want this to run a pattern. So boom. Let me add a hi-hat. Love the hi-hat in this machine. And let's make it 2. Oh shit. But I also want to mess around with a bit of the volume here, so the first is going to sound at 30. It's going to sound with a step length of 440. And I want to process my drum machine sound because I love the sound of the 80s, but I like this type of genre to sound a bit more modern. Someone in the forum it was like giving me this sort of advice that I really appreciate, because I get his point when he mentioned that there are a lot of producers, but a lot of them are, you know, like a big pile of people making synthwave, and they are not getting the sound. But honestly, I don't care. I simply do this stuff because I like it. I'm not going to be a synthwave producer. This is not going to be the genre that's going to define my musical career or anything like that, but I simply don't want to sound like that old school. I kind of like Scandroid. He gets the sound of the 80s, but he also feeds his own influence and his own modern type sound to the retrowave. That's what I like. So this is the Lindrum LM1, and I already have like a change that I like to use, but I'm going to look for my reactor effects and I'm going to build one from scratch. So let me go here. I want to use the Boscomac ensembles. In the side he has like different categories, and the one that says distortion and dynamics has 4 devices that are pure gold. If you own Reactor, look for this stuff. So I like to use the bit torsion, which is basically a bit crusher, so I'm going to use it to degrade a bit of the signal. And let's copy this again, and I want to use the magnitude, which is kind of like a transient processor. Now I want to add some reverb. No, I first want to multi-band compress again. I simply love the flat blaster. It's not the greatest multi-band compressor, but if you're going to process a particular set of sound, it offers awesome results. So let me reduce again this stuff. And a bit of reverb. Copy this stuff again. Let me this time look for a Boscomac reverb. I think the spring reverb or the flat verb, delay and reverb. Springtime. Oh shit. I don't like this reverb. Flat verb. That's the one. We have this loop going on, typical retrowave, and we still can create different sounds like a lead with a lot of reverb and glide to make it like the theme of the song. But let's go here, and this time use serum, because I was basically showing you these guys so you know that even using the sampler you can get cool results to make all sorts of sound. But I kind of like to use VSTs because they're really cool and they save you a lot of time because for all the functionality they have right inside them. So let me add another serum. Let me turn this to -6, and let me look for one of the presets that I use in the tracks I was posting. So synthwave synth. But because we are adding stuff here, is affecting the way the synth sounds, so run it to this -8. Let me mute the drum to write a pattern. Shit. Stuff is super slow. Fuck. Here. Fuck it. Tididum. Let's make a tididum type sound. Sorry. Yeah, something like that. I'm not in the mood to write this stuff, so here. This is the first one. Oh shit. So, synthwave, retrowave in Renoise. Hope you find this stuff useful, hope you like it. And I think this is going to, like a really cool format to show you guys some tricks in Renoise. I think this is something I can make with different genres like dubstep, electro, EDM, IDM, sorry, and different weird stuff. So show you guys different tricks in Renoise, how you can make sounds and stuff. Of course, this stuff really needs mixing and leveling the different sounds, maybe work a bit more on the sound design, but you know, this is running like 50 minutes now and it's sounding pretty okay. I think with the setup of sounds we can start arranging and creating different melodies to make the song, look for different effects like white noise stuff, even craft some old school type effects with Serum, render out, drop it in the project, and it's going to sound really cool. So hope this is helpful to you guys. Leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel. So peace, type A here. I'm going to put this file available for download, so make sure you download this so you grab all the instruments.